Stop what you're doing. If you hold any high-growth SaaS stocks in your portfolio right now, you absolutely need to see this breakdown. Look, I know a lot of retail investors are terrified of holding unprofitable tech companies in this current macro environment, and honestly, I get it. The fear of catching a falling knife is real. But last week, I dug deep into the financials of Braze, and the tension between their massive market share capture and their cash burn, well, it completely shocked me. Braze is a classic David versus Goliath story in enterprise tech right now. On one hand, they have phenomenal product execution. They are literally capturing market share at a breakneck pace. On the other hand, they are burning through capital at a rate that has some of Wall Street sweating bullets. Today, we are unpacking what I like to call the Braze Dilemma.
So here is the bold rhetorical question we have to answer today. Can explosive SaaS growth actually outpace persistent heavy net losses? I mean, Braze processes trillions of data points to help brands connect with consumers in real time. But as we all know, that kind of hyperscale is incredibly expensive. By the end of this explainer, you'll know exactly if a stock like this is a long-term Buffett buy or a classic Peter Lynch trap. I'm going to give you a clear, actionable framework you can steal to see exactly where Braze is winning, where all that cash is actually going, and whether their bold AI strategy can truly fend off the legacy tech giants that are breathing down their necks. Let's get right into it.
All right, Section 1, the revenue boom.
Check out this number. In the first quarter of fiscal 2027, Braze reported a massive $211 million in revenue. Guys, that is a 30.2% year-over-year growth rate. While a lot of other enterprise software companies are out there struggling just to scrape by with single digits, Braze has their foot completely pinned to the gas pedal.
And that $211 million quarter, it was absolutely no fluke. It builds right on top of the $205 million they delivered in Q4. If we zoom out to the full fiscal year 2026, Braze pulled in over $738 million. And get this, early in fiscal 2027, they officially crossed a massive psychological and financial milestone, $800 million in annual recurring revenue. The organic growth here isn't just steady, it is actively accelerating.
To really anchor these financials in reality, consider their $720 million quarterly revenue run rate, coupled with the fact that they've secured over 2,400 customers spread across 75 different countries. So, what does this actually tell us? Well, brands are essentially voting with their wallets. They are actively choosing Braze's agile, real-time architecture over the clunky, legacy alternatives. It's a huge stamp of approval.
Moving on to Section 2, the BrazeAI advantage.
Braze recently rolled out the BrazeAI suite. Let me tell you, this moves way beyond your basic run-of-the-mill analytics. We're talking about the BrazeAI Operator, Agent Console, and Decisioning Studio. In plain English, they are using modern reinforcement learning to personalize customer interactions at a scale that is honestly hard to wrap your head around. In calendar year 2025 alone, they executed an awe-inspiring 3.1 trillion AI decisioning inferences. Trillion with a T. They are building a truly adaptive intelligence system right before our eyes.
CEO Bill Magnuson captured this dynamic perfectly. He noted that brands trust Braze with their most important workloads. Now, why does that matter to us as analysts? Because Braze isn't just viewed as some disposable, nice-to-have marketing app. It is business-critical infrastructure. If you're a massive global brand, you literally cannot afford latency or downtime. Braze guarantees that reliability. Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, high retention and expansions. Because this software is so mission-critical, it creates incredible customer loyalty. For Q1 2027, Braze reported a dollar-based net retention rate of 110%. That basically means, on average, their existing customers aren't just sticking around. They're actually spending 10% more year over year. They're expanding across new channels and eagerly adopting those new AI capabilities we just talked about.
But wait, the story gets even better when you look at their most lucrative clients. Out of their 2,700 plus total customers, the large enterprise cohort, meaning the heavy hitters spending $500,000 or more annually, has a net retention rate of 111%. Plus, they saw the total number of these massive accounts jump by 35% in Q4 2026 alone. Their land and expand strategy, it is working flawlessly at the very top of the market.
But right here is the pivot. We have to abruptly confront the stark reality of the Braze Dilemma. Despite all this incredible top-line momentum, the platform is consuming a massive amount of capital. In fiscal year 25, Braze reported a GAAP net loss of $104 million.
And that brings us to Section 4, the profitability challenge.
Stacking the numbers side by side really reveals the tension here. you have this massive fiscal 2026 revenue nearing $750 million. Amazing, right? But right next to it, a $104 million net loss from fiscal 2025 and a $38.8 million operating loss in just the second quarter of fiscal 2026. You might be wondering why. Well, hypergrowth requires astronomically high sales and marketing expenses. Acquiring these massive enterprise clients is expensive, and that makes achieving consistent GAAP profitability a huge looming hurdle.
Let's look at the broader market in Section 5, Looming Competitive Threats.
As we touched on earlier, Braze is locked in a classic David versus Goliath battle. In one corner, you have Braze winning on pure technical merit with their real-time data ingestion. But in the other corner, you have the legacy titans, Salesforce and Adobe. Sure, they might suffer from older batch processing latency, but they wield massive multi-product scale, immense bundling power, and deep entrenched CRM ecosystems. Think about it. If Salesforce deeply discounts their marketing cloud just to trap a CRM client, Braze has to fight tooth and nail to win that business over. It's tough.
Furthermore, we have to note that Braze is heavily concentrated in the US market, which makes up about 55% of their total revenue. While 45% international certainly isn't bad, this heavy North American reliance leaves them a lot more vulnerable to regional economic slowdowns compared to their truly globally diversified legacy peers.
So how do they fix this? Section 6, Future Growth Opportunities.
To actually reach profitability and fend off these giants, Braze is executing a very specific 3-step actionable framework. Step 1, monetize generative AI. The BrazeAI suite isn't just a cool feature, it's their key to driving higher contract value. Step 2, mid-market expansion. They need to scale their sales efficiently to capture thousands of smaller deals without letting their operating costs skyrocket. And finally, Step 3, aggressive international expansion. They are heavily diversifying into APAC and EMEA to capture new, lucrative global clients.
Which leaves us with the ultimate question. Can Braze's cutting-edge AI innovations and nimble architecture secure a true path to profitability? Or will the sheer blunt force bundling power of the legacy tech titans eventually drag them down? The math over the next few quarters is going to tell the real story. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking the right questions, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.